Alright you guys, why am I dressed like a low-level World of Warcraft character?
It's the shining yellow boy, shining yellow boy, shining yellow boy channel.
Guys, I think it's a very sucky thing when an inquisitive, curious kid wants to learn about why something is the way that it is, only to be rejected by an irritated adult who doesn't want to expend the effort to explain something. I've been on both sides of this, so I definitely understand both sides. However, what this leads to are people who just don't understand why they do the things that they do. One example of this are Vietnamese funeral clothes. Because you see, 2 years ago, my grandma passed away, so it was the first time I got to experience a Vietnamese funeral. I was taking in the spot of my dad, the eldest son, the Chao Đức Tôn. And so the clothes I wore were reflective of that, and I thought they were so interesting. So today, we're gonna learn about it. We're gonna learn why I wore the clothes that I wore, and we're gonna be there for that inquisitive, curious kid inside of me. So let's get it. Alright you guys, why am I dressed like a low-level World of Warcraft character? Well, you see, let's analyze the color. So, in the Vietnamese Buddhist tradition, what they'll opt for is cremation. And so when your body gets burned up, what you're gonna turn it into is ash. And what color is that ash? Well, it's this kind of grayish white color, right? So, that explains the color. It's a way for the loved ones of the deceased to be connected with that person. But sometimes I also just wonder, like, hey, I don't get my clothes dirty, so let's do white. Second up, what you'll notice is this kind of straw rope around my head. I thought it was the most interesting, weird thing to have, because you see, it's just so like the way it's woven, it's weird. I thought it was super weird. But why we do that? There's a little story behind it. So, way back in the day, when you were bringing the body to either the cremation or burial site, it was this kind of a long journey, right? And on that journey, you would go into like mountains and forests. At the same time, you would have upset family members. Let's say, for instance, that Chao Đức Tôn is taking his parent to the burial cremation site, right? And on the way, he's going to be upset. He may be crying, be like, it's easy for something dangerous to happen, you know what I'm saying? He might, he starts to bang his head on something because he's just so sad, or he might just like slip and hit his head, right? So that straw rope, it actually should be a lot thicker. It's used to protect the head. I suppose the reason now is that so thin is just because out of tradition. But in reality, the more practical use of it was supposed to be heavy. It's supposed to be thick so to protect the head. And now when we look at it, I'm also wearing a belt. Now the belt is because back there, you know, those farmer clothes, they're baggy, right? And so you gotta try to keep it, you know, tucked in. So that's the reasoning for the belt. You know, you don't wanna get hooked onto something and become the next funeral person, you know what I'm saying? So it's to keep things under control. That's what both of these things are. It's, you know, it's for safety, it's to keep things under control. The material that they are made with is straw. Now the reason it's strong, it could also be banana leaves, it could also be hemp. And the reason because of that is just easily accessible. It's what's around them, you know, whether you're rich or poor. And so that explains the whole outfit. And this is specifically pertaining to Chao Đức Tôn. I saw my two uncles wear it. They're the sons of the family, and they're typically the only ones that will dress this elaborately. Other family members will just wear the white headband and the robe. I think it's just, you know, it's the way it is, you know, how tradition goes from what was once like practical or believed to just a ritual that no one really knows why. Well, that's why it's important to keep asking questions and to really act on that inquisitiveness, and don't let anyone stop you from learning more. Alright guys, thanks for listening to me. See you all next time.
That's it for me, you guys. Remember to comment, like, subscribe, and follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and the IG.